You already know what time it is. You saw the thumbnail. I've got something new from Yman Leo. We're gonna check it out. It's actually one of the requests that one of you had as far as my thoughts on it. So I got it in. We're gonna go through it. I'll let you know what I think. Stick around. All right, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin. You're watching Smell Goods. I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you hanging out with me for a little bit. Hope you're having an amazing day. Hope life is going your way and you're smelling good, because that's kind of important for a channel called Smell Goods, that people smell good, right? If this is your first time, appreciate you coming through. Thanks for stopping by. Don't make it your last time. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and then request notifications. That way, every time I drop a video, which is pretty frequent, you can definitely have that information, as well as when I go live, you can jump into the live and we can have some conversation and have some fun as a community there. If you've been here before, what's up? Good to see y'all again. Appreciate you coming back through. So a few weeks ago, I forgot who it was. It may have been Ricky. I don't know, but shout out to Ricky. He's a faithful viewer of the channel as well. The question was, had I put nose on Yman Leo? Because you all know that Yman Leo is one of the brands that I'm really getting into. I really enjoy a lot of the things that they do. They've got a lot of hitters, a lot of bangers, a lot of nice inspired takes on fragrances. So the question was, had I put nose on their version, their take of Roja's Isola Blu. At that point, I hadn't. In fact, I hadn't even smelled Isola Blu. It wasn't something that I had an opportunity to put nose on. But in the meantime, I have gotten an opportunity to put nose on Isola Blu. And I also did get in from Yom Layl. I got in their take of Isola Blu, which is called Blue Island. You might not be able to see it, but you know the sticker there, Blue Island. We know the presentation as far as Yom Layl. Nice, heavy bottle, plastic cap that just kind of sits in there. Gold plate. Again, the gold plate is the ones that are their inspired takes. If it's a black plate, typically I think that means that it's one of their signature ones. So this is definitely an inspired take from Yom Layl. And let me just say, Yom Layl, say what you will, Yom Layl does a lot of good quality stuff. Even the ones that they've done that have been their own signature brand, their own signature creations have been great. I've got quite a few from the house of Yom Layl that they slap, right? They work, they do what you want them to do. Now this one, I did let this macerate. I did follow the instructions, follow the suggestions of throwing it in the refrigerator. We've got a refrigerator up in our bedroom that we have little, beverages, whatnot in. And so it sat in there for a few days after I got it. So I've had it for maybe a week now. And so we're going to go through it. Again, as far as the atomizer, nice, beautiful atomizer. In the air, you get citruses, but not sharp citruses, right? And again, let me just say, I have put nose on Isola Blu. I haven't worn Isola Blu, but I have put nose on it so I can tell you kind of where this sits in relation to it. All right, we'll go ahead and get this on skin as well. Initially, and I'll say this, initially when I smelled this versus Isola Blu, when I smelled the two, Isola Blu initially hit me. It was interesting. It hit me. I got a little more wood, I think it was initially, but it was just like a quick, hit. There was a little something different in the very first initial spray. Now, I can chalk that up to the fact that I may have been smelling a few things that day, so maybe what have you. But after that initial, and when I say brief second, I mean it was literally like I put it to nose, like, okay. Then I brought it back and it was like it was right where it needed to be. So it might have been some of the alcohol, whatever it might have been. Okay. But again, just full transparency, full honesty as far as my experience in smelling the two. However, immediately after that, I smelled Isola Blu, and I put this and I smelled this. They're pretty much in the same space, in the same vein. I'm not going to give you, 95, 98. They're close. They're in the space where to the average nose, to the person who, is just trying to see how does this smell, it's definitely in that space, in that range. You're definitely going to, without spending a whole lot of time trying to pick it apart, you're going to notice that, yeah, they're very, very close. All right. Now, let's go through the notes because there's a lot that goes on with this. And when we talk about the notes and when we talk about kind of what this begins to turn into, this is it's a beautiful fragrance. Now, because of when I'm filming this, this may not be the best time, but it's something that you may want to pick up because the first time we get back towards spring, this is going to be hidden. Now, I'm still in the space where I can rock this. This could still work kind of for fall, depending upon how your fall works. But as far as the notes on this, you've got lime, bergamot, lemon, lavender, and thyme up top, right? Then you got apple, blackcurrant, orange blossom, champaka, jasmine, coconut, and lily in the middle. And then in the base, you've got cedar, birch, juniper berries, grass, musk, pink pepper, ambergris. I'm not done. Oak moss, amber, mate, patchouli, anise, vanilla. I'm still going. Vanilla, tonka bean, labdanum, leather, and orris root. Okay. That's all that's going on in this fragrance. And it is basically the same as what Roja put in to the original Isola Blu. So a lot of things going on with this. As far as this fragrance, I think it works perfectly for spring, works perfectly for summer, just because it kind of fits that way, that profile. But it could, depending upon your falls, as long as it's still kind of a nice fall, it can still work in this. But again, wear what you want when you want to wear it, right? But this is nice. This is daytime. In fact, I wore this. One of my buddies, we went out to brunch. We were just hanging out, talking, chopping it up, what have you. And I had sprayed it maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before he and I actually met up. Before we were at the restaurant. We were sitting waiting for our table, waiting for our spot, and he was like, "Hey man, what are you wearing?" I told him what it was. Now, I say that to say this, that the scent bubble, the scent, the silage, the projection, all that fun stuff was still going after about 2 hours and beyond that, right? So projection, bubble, all those fun things is not going to die quickly, right? And the fact that, yes, you have citrus notes up top, but there's some floral notes that start to come through. And then, of course, you see all of the other things that are coming through in the base that start to pop through and start to come through towards the end as far as when it fully dries down. But 2 hours in, even while we were having breakfast, we were brunching and having, having conversation, what have you, even through all of that, it was still producing and it was popping off of skin. It was still doing the same thing. When I left, when I got in the car, when I went and did some other shopping, in fact, I was able to go, and when I checked out Isola Blu, I was wearing it. So several hours later, when I went over to the Neiman Marcus and was like, okay, let me compare the two, even then, I could still pick it up on skin. So good projection, good longevity, does not die quickly, right? So this one, you're going to get, even if I say average, just from what I know from that day out, 6 to 7 hours. But I think I think I could say that it probably went a little longer than that. I stopped kind of counting. I stopped kind of like, checking in, but it still kept going, right? So if you're looking for something that is like Isola Blu, if you're like, I want something in that space, but I don't want to spend the price, Yman Leo's got your back once again. Yman Leo has come through once again with another inspired take that does what you want it to do by getting you definitively in the space of the fragrance that is doing this inspired take of and performing well. This is not like some of the other fragrances that you get at TJ Maxx or Burlington, where it's like for $14.99 and like they disappear after the first 35 minutes. No, this sticks around, this lasts, this does what you want it to do. Good fragrance, right? So again, from House of Yom Layl Blu Island, their take on Isola Blu from Roja, I don't think you can go wrong with it. Definitely, if you were looking for that and for the person or persons that were asking about it, hopefully this answers your question if you have not gotten it already. But do me the favor, of course, stay safe, stay sane, stay smelling good. Check out the next video that will show up probably right here. And then, of course, meet me in the comments. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed. Peace.